Greetings, everybody. My name is Naro, or Narokath, Crims, whichever you prefer. And we are here today on March 22nd with a room tour, but also an update vlog. But we'll start with the room tour part first. So this is how it currently looks as of yesterday. And it is still a work in progress, but it's more or less finished. The basic idea has been finalized, but it still needs some fine-tuning here and there. So that's the hallway over there. You can see my working pants. This wall right here, we can pause and talk about bits and pieces. So this wall where the blanket is hanging is gonna be replaced with these types of panels, which I'm gonna show you on screen right now. And the blanket is there currently to help with the acoustics, because I do commentary and stuff like that, and I don't want the voice to reverb on the walls, so that does help, and so does the couch. There's the little kitchen, my nerdy shelf area, the windows. Here's my dinner table, a little makeshift. It used to be my old desk for many, many years until I upgraded. And yeah, that's where I currently eat food. It looks very, basic, but it works. I'm gonna try to make something more fine out of this. But here's the nerdy shelves. It's a little bit of a mishmash, as you can see, with the different types of shelves. I don't mind too much. I am always that kind of practical guy, before aesthetic. So it is indeed practical. So here we have some Dark Souls statues, we have movies, Splatoon amiibos, Persona 5 merch, Astrid Lindgren movies to the right, Breaking Bad, all of the Switch games. Oh, wait, it's not playing. Alright. And here you have the Nintendo shelf in the bottom, starting with the Game Boy, and then GameCube, Wii, 3DS, Wii U, and Nintendo Switch. And everything is more or less in alphabetical order, but I did mess up in a couple of spots. Namely, Resident Evil 3 in the bottom left, right here, is supposed to be after 2, of course. But that has been fixed since this filming. And then on the second shelf, we have PlayStation, starting with 1, 2, PlayStation 3 and portable, and then PlayStation 4. And at the very rightmost corner, we have PlayStation 5. Lots of treasured video games here, which I've talked about a couple of times. But my favorites, of course, being Final Fantasy X original Japanese release, day 1, still sealed. So that will never ever be opened. And then I used to have, what was it, 5 copies of Final Fantasy X. It just happened. I started collecting those games, or I mean that game. And then Silent Hill 2. That's my own seal, just to protect against, the white part getting yellow, as you can see, the difference between these two. Same thing with Shadow of the Colossus. It doesn't have that plastic cover, so it does get yellow over time. So this is my way to prevent that, hopefully. And then we have more PC, Microsoft shelf with PC games to the left. Back in the day when you bought PC games physically, that era is unfortunately long gone. It just is a relic of its past. But yeah, World of Warcraft, Blizzard games, Xbox original, and then the Guitar Hero series on 360, and then some PC games. These I forgot to do alphabetically, I just realized, so that's a little bit of a miss. And then the power of friendship never dies. It will always be with me. And then here is also a work in progress. I'm gonna buy one of those floor shelves, like a bookshelf that you place on the floor, so I can have it beneath the shelves up here. And that's where the remainder of these items are gonna go up. They used to be in this kind of glass cabinet, but that one broke during the move. So it's just in these bags and what do you call them, boxes now. Art books, lots of them from different games. All of my music CDs. And then a bunch of different, props, I guess, statues and shit. There's the window, my sleeping corner, my double PC setup, and of course the OLED TV and armchair setup. These two I got from my father as like a move-in present or gift. And that's huge, because these aren't any basic cheap armchairs. These are like a little bit more on the luxurious side, and they are super comfortable, and I'm very, very happy with them. I used to only have that white couch, as you saw back there, but yeah, these armchairs, they are on a different level, I should say. And then we have the ceiling fan in the top, which is my best friend, especially when it's very warm and you want to try to ventilate the room a little bit, circulate the air. And also a very good light source. So that was a little bit troublesome screwing that up. Then we have a carpet underneath the bed that I did the same day as I filmed this. Some, yeah, curtains. Nice little armor statue guy, which was bought in Italy, I believe, by my parents before I was born, I think. And I just have a lot of nostalgia for it. And it just reminds me of, yeah, the types of games I enjoy, like fantasy and medieval stuff, Age of Empires, Dark Souls, to name a few. Oblivion. So yeah, this wall right here, we're gonna have, there you go. So here's the image of the panel. Gonna have on this wall instead of that blanket to help with the acoustics. So yeah, this is the basic overview of how everything looks. You have the armchairs. I don't like that you can see these cables here, because you can adjust the position of these armchairs. Like you can lay down, you get a footrest and everything, and so they need to be plugged in. And I want to get some kind of like a little pedestal or something that you can place things on to the right, while also covering these cables and plugs. And also you have these blankets on the wall, as you can see above the TV and to the right here. And they also help with acoustics. I don't have a clear plan of how to deal with it in the here and now. It does work the way it is. It just looks very... I don't know what the word I'm looking for, but it just... Alright, so now we are rewinding the clock back to February when I started the pack process. And here is the old room. This is where we have done streams for about 3,300 hours in total, probably more. And this is me doing a time-lapse of me, yeah, unpacking all of the monitors and the cables and the setup. It's pretty intricate. A bit of a mess, as you can see, with the cables down there. So here I am. That's the new, what do you call it? Computer desk, which you can adjust the height of so you can stand on it. I mean, not on it, but you can stand while using it. Height adjustable desk. It's a beautiful present, and I'm so happy with it. Perfect size for me. Very good for ergonomic. You can stand up some days, sit down another. There you go. Fixing up all the cables. I first thought I was gonna leave these, you know, arms, the monitor arm and microphone arm, during the move, so I don't have to screw it down. But unfortunately, I still had to do that. But yeah, now I'm cleaning up the cables with one of these microfiber mittens, if you want to call them that. All of the dust from all the cables and everything, placing them in a bag, taking down the curtains. This is when I still had long hair. I don't know if, yeah, you can see in the back there. The hair was getting in the way, so that's why I used my little cap. Or whatever you want to call it. Here are my different posters. Metroid Dread, Undertale, Animu, Smash poster. All of the other posters. There are the blankets on the wall to help with acoustics. You have Super Metroid. These are all official from Nintendo, which you can buy with your like silver or platinum coins. And they got sent from Germany. So very nice. Not expensive at all. You only had to pay for the shipping. Have some other posters. These I mostly bought at the conventions back in the day. You know, different vendors at conventions. Thumbs up. So here is day one in the, you know, in this apartment. The first box right there, and that's me, apparently. And now we're back in the old room again, just getting like a last shot of how it looks before I take away the furnitures and the desk and everything. And this next clip should be without everything. Yeah, there we go. So now everything is removed. The glass cabinet is still there, but I decided to not use it anymore. because it broke, of course. The door, like the glass door, broke. And so I'm using shelves instead. Here we have my good friends White Judges to the left and Mr. Pierre to the right, helping me move. So huge thanks to both of them for helping out. And I make it look like they are doing all the work and I'm just filming, but this is just one part, is to get something into the vlog. Because I very easily feel guilt if I don't do my part. And here we are outside the old apartment, loading up the trailer, which I rented. Very good size, good price and everything. Once again, I make it look like they're doing all the job. And here we are. This is after everyone has helped me carry up all the stuff. So it's just a big old mess. Everything is in boxes. Everything is just out of place. I was very unsure of how to plan ahead. So at this moment right here, like at this frame when I was recording it, I felt very overwhelmed. Because I'm also starting work like 2 days after. So this was filmed on Saturday, March 1st. And then on March 3rd, Monday, I started working. So it just felt really overwhelming right here. Like, wow, I have such a mountain ahead of me with this apartment, getting everything set up, getting settled in, and also starting the work again at the golf clubhouse. So it was a very intense moment. It was, of course, positive, but it was also, overwhelming. So it was a little bit too much for me. But it is what it is. That's life. But I'm trying to look at the positives and see it as an exciting project that there's so much potential. But I had to make a very clear choice, like almost from this point. Where do I put everything? Where does everything go? Especially when it's with technical stuff like computers and TVs with a bunch of cords running along the walls and everything. You want to make sure that you know where you're going to have everything so you don't move it later and you have to unplug everything and, drag the cables in a new canal or something. So I faced some heavy decision anxiety. But after a while of just taking a few deep breaths and just, taking it easy, I finally decided, okay, this is the plan. This is where we're going to have everything. And I just slowly started placing things where they should be. But yeah, it is a huge mess of things. And here's the bag with all of the different plushies. My little angeling plushie from Ragnarok Online. And this is probably the day after or several hours later. So starting to get things a little bit, more space in the middle. I first thought to have the desk on the right side there next to the, the fiber optic internet, and then the TV in the middle, and have the couch and the armchairs in the middle of the room. But quickly decided no, that won't look good. And so this was like the first idea. You see where the armchairs are. I just didn't like it having them in the middle of the room. And so I decided to have the TV to the right instead and the desk in the middle. And you can see the bed is, on its far side along the wall. So it gets really close to the desk, which is also really close to the TV bench. And it just barely fits. So it's like, yeah, this works as long as, everyone is careful. You don't knock anything over. Everything fits very well alongside that wall. But it just felt too tight, too claustrophobic. You can see right here on this image. It's way too close. And I'm a pretty long person, almost 190 centimeters. And so my feet usually stick out from, the bed edge. And so I can very easily, maybe during a dream or something, kick the desk itself. And I just did not like that risk, especially if someone else would be in the bed. So, yeah, I was thinking, is it good enough? Is it not? I don't know. But yeah, finally landed on a decision. So there's another image. We got the ceiling lamp ready to be drilled up, but that took a while. Here's my first evening in the apartment, my first sunset. I'm a pretty deep guy, or abstract thinker, very sensitive. I felt a sense of melancholy right here, if that's a good word for it. It's hard for me to explain with words, especially in English, of course. But yeah, it felt pretty heavy right here. But it's not negative. It's just, there's a lot of things going on. Overwhelming, like I said before. You reflect on everything, what has been going on in your life and where you are now and where you're heading. And sometimes you may think too much about it. But yeah, here I have my little stereo playing some Secret of Evermore music on a CD, which I burnt myself. And also I made the soundtrack, or I arranged the soundtrack myself. So I was listening to that a lot while unpacking and setting everything up. There's behind the monitor some cables, there's a lot of them. It's a pretty mess. Here we have the double PC setup. Now, I thought about many different ways I could place these PCs, because having them both on the desk felt a little bit cumbersome, a little bit cluttered, but it is definitely the most practical way to have it, since when I'm streaming on the new PC or the old, I need to switch some cables back and forth, and obviously having it like this makes it very easy. And I've done my best to streamline the process, to minimize the amount of cables that have to be, switched. Currently, it's only an HDMI cable for the portrait monitor and the Stream Deck. Everything else can stay on the old PC. But yeah, I have to switch it, so that's why having them next to each other is a better idea. Here's another work in progress image. The TV hasn't gone up yet. At this point, I didn't have my ceiling light, so I had this floor lamp instead, which was my working light, and it worked okay. A little bit too warm, as you can see, the temperature of the color, but hey, you get used to it. But here we go, finally the TV is up, and I'm so nervous every time. This is the LG C4 TV, brand new, so it was like a move-in gift for myself. And I got help, getting it up on the desk, or I mean, the TV bench, or whatever you want to call it. That's how you say it in Swedish. And I finally got the ceiling light up after several days. Like I said, that was pretty cumbersome to get up there. You need to be like 2 or 3 people. So here's a nice work in progress. You can now see that the bed is like protruding from the wall instead of going alongside of it. And that adds a lot of space between the bed and the desk, and of course between the desk and the TV. It just felt more safe and also a lot more clean. So here you go. So this desk is at its high point, so you can stand up. Currently this XLR cable going to the microphone is the old one that's only 5 meters long. And so it just had to go like straight across the room. And I immediately thought, no, I can't have it like this. So I ordered a 9-meter white cable, which you could see in the beginning. I'll show it at the end as well, which can go alongside the wall instead, and it blends very well with the white wall, of course. But yeah, here's the nice little armchair setup with the OLED TV, PlayStation 5 switch back there, and the desk. I was feeling very positive right here. Like, yeah, everything is coming along. It's looking nice. The blanket on the wall is behind the desk, which didn't really work out, because when I heighten it or lower it, it like bumps into the blanket, and it just adds for a little bit of frustration having to straighten it up behind there every time. So I instead moved it over to behind the TV, as you saw. And here is my SM57 dynamic microphone, which I am recording this video with right now. And it is a beautiful microphone. It isn't really suited for voice or, vocal. It's more suited for loud instruments like a snare drum or maybe a guitar amplifier, which is why I got it in the first place. But with this setup now, where you can see the other microphone in the background, I have 2 microphones. I can't use the same one for both. And so I thought, okay, where am I going to stream the most? Probably from the armchair when we do these variety streaming, playing games from start to finish. And so that's why I want my Sennheiser MK4 microphone over by the armchair. And whenever I stream by the desktop, I am using the, SM57. And it's fine, I think most people won't notice a big difference. And also, since it is a dynamic microphone, it's less sensitive, which is good because my keyboard is pretty loud. I have these mechanical switches and they click a lot. And so having a less sensitive microphone helps to combat that. But you need to make sure that you're close to the microphone and that you don't stray too far away from it, because it isn't as sensitive as a condenser microphone, which this one in the back is. But yeah, that's just technical things. But that's how it looks pretty much now as well. There's a difference. We'll get to that later. Some cables, headphones hanging from underneath. You don't want to know why that's there. Got a couple of post-it notes there on the portrait monitor, and they have some support words for me, because whenever I do commentary, I want to make sure that I use different types of words for different scenarios, as to not make my commentary too monotonous, saying the same word over and over to describe something. And so it helps me, like, different positive adjectives and, you know, negative, different ways to say thank you, so you don't always say the same thing every time. And they have helped me a lot. I should honestly put up a couple of more. And there on the right side, you can see my webcam. I used to have this Canon system camera with HDMI out into a capture card, which allowed for more, you know, professional look of whenever I'm using cam or recording myself for any reason. But the wired battery has died for the second time, and it costs like $20 to buy a new one. And I'm not streaming that much with cam these days, so I just use this webcam instead for now. The quality is okay. The colors are a little bit off, as you can see in some streams, but it is serviceable. It's sharp enough, and with some tinkering with color correction, you can make it look fine. So that's what I'm using currently, and it's just wired with a USB 3.0 cable, so no need for a wired battery or capture card. It just, you know, works instantly. And here we are at my workplace. So while I was setting up everything in the apartment, I also went to work every day at this golf clubhouse. And I just love it because it's very varied, the different tasks you have to do. It's never the same thing, you know, week after week. And currently in March, I was tasked to freshen up all of these benches that go out on the golf course. And there are a lot of them, as you can imagine. And the process was pretty simple, but also, you know, satisfying. You started off with sandpapering all the surfaces and the edges to make it smooth and nice. And then you blow that off with compressed air. And then you paint. And while I was painting, I just had like one of these in-ear Bluetooth headphones and, you know, listened to different things like podcasts, music, streams, you name it. And the hours just flew by, and you go into this flow state. After every bench, you get better and better, and you can do it more automatically. And yeah, ended up doing it for every single bench on the entire golf course. So it's kind of crazy when I see it like this. Like, wow, I did so many benches. It's crazy. So a lot of hours went into that. I don't like seeing them upside down, because then you're seeing surfaces you're not supposed to. So, you know, no bother sandpapering and painting that. So yeah, lazy worker, I guess. And now we are back in the apartment. I think this is week 2, probably, after I moved in. So around 14th, 15th of March. This is how it looks currently when I'm recording this video with the microphone. Here is my old webcam. It's just basic 720p 30 FPS, but it works great for that setup with hand cam for like the F-Zero streams. But I need to make sure I don't bump into it too much. It does obscure the keyboard, as you can see from here. But yeah, for the most part, I don't really look at the keyboard while typing. But it can be annoying sometimes when you need to look at it, but there's a microphone arm in the way. And this, you know, new PC here in the middle, it is in the way, so I can't really move the microphone arm away. So this is like the part of the desk I don't like, that this microphone arm has to constantly be like this. Because that XLR cable that goes into the USB audio interface, this cable right here, it's very short. and I don't have many XLR cables, and I don't want to use a 5-meter one for this short distance. So this one just, kind of barely makes it to the microphone, and so I can't really, turn it away too much. It has to stay there. But here we have the two PCs, little wireless adapter for Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. If need be, I only use it for, DualSense Bluetooth connection. Cables, and even more cables. An Elgato RGB light. Looks very nice. And here we have the famous headphones underneath the table. So for those of you who don't know, while I'm streaming, people can, do things that causes an alert, like following, subscribing, or redeeming a different, sound alert. And I can hear that through these headphones. And it's just a good way for me to, hear that something is going on without it being too obtrusive or distract me too much from the game audio while I'm playing or focusing. So all that is going through those headphones when I'm streaming at the desktop. But they're maxed out, so I can hear it pretty clearly. And here's the LED light. I want it to be on top of the cam, but there's no socket on it to screw it on top. So I'm thinking of maybe just using duct tape. Something is to place it on top of the cam. But for now, it's underneath the portrait monitor. And it looks kind of, half-assed. But it does work. It works fine. But yeah, I don't like it. I have the DualSense charging station for use of PC gaming and PlayStation 5. And here we have the HDMI matrix, which can combine many different sources into one simple output, or two in this case. So starting from the very right with input 4, this is from 3 different consoles. This is from my Wii U, my Super NT, the Super Nintendo clone machine, and also the Xbox 360. So I have to switch the cable on those consoles for which one I'm using, and then it goes into the matrix. Input 3 is the PlayStation 4 Pro. Input 2 is the Nintendo Switch. And input 1 is the PlayStation 5. And then I can select these 2 outputs to output any of these in any combination. I can make it so the Nintendo Switch goes to the TV, and then the PlayStation 5 goes to the capture card. I mean, if you want to. But usually these 2 are mirrored, so they both send out the same image. So one goes to the TV and one goes to the capture card. The only bad part about this matrix is that its limit is 4K at 60 Hz and HDR. And as you may know, the PlayStation 5 can do better. It can do 120 Hz, for example, which is good for 40 FPS games. But with this matrix, there is no way. It also can't output 1440p, so it's either 1080p or 4K. But it's not a big problem at all. Most games are in 30 FPS or 60 anyway, so there's no problem. And there's a Nintendo Switch and a little gateway router. The OLED TV, this does not do it justice at all, because the whole thing with the OLED is that you have perfect blacks, the pixels are shut down. But with such a reflective, glossy screen and such a light room, it just looks like a mirror. But in a dark room, it is beautiful. You can't explain it, you have to experience it yourself. But this is like the stream setup for when I play variety gaming. Currently Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. So I sit in the armchair, I play it on the 4K OLED. I have my MK4 microphone right there with the white cable, which goes along the wall. And then you have these little tubes, like plastic white tubes, to try to obscure or cover the black cables as much as possible. I would prefer to have it, more cleanly, like more 90-degree angles, but the cables aren't long enough. Most of them are very expensive. Like the HDMI 2.1 cable from the gaming PC or new PC that goes into the TV via this canal is, pretty expensive. And getting a longer one has some technical limitations and problems, and also it's extremely expensive. So I'm just gonna deal with it being in this tube. I don't really see it once I'm immersed into something, so I don't really care, but yeah, it is what it is. So this is where I sit when I play games, talking to the microphone. The only problem I've noticed so far after doing a couple of streams here is that I don't have access to, seeing everything clearly. Like here is OBS with the stream chat is on this monitor, and here's the stream deck with all of the macros, all of the buttons to adjust things in real time while streaming, like adjusting volume, muting a microphone, going to the be right back screen, many different things. And having it over here obviously means I can't use it from here. So I'm thinking of maybe having like a USB 3.0 extension cable and then place it on this little table when I'm streaming. But then I have to, take it back and forth all the time, and then I have to do cable management. So I haven't really figured this one out yet. I do feel pretty handicapped streaming without having the Stream Deck in front of me. It is a super useful tool. But for now, this is what I use. I do have a wireless keyboard and a mouse pad, so I can still control the mouse and everything on these two monitors while I stream. So it works, but it could be much better. But yeah, here's the white cable, goes along the wall. I might get some cable holders so it doesn't look as messy. And here we are, back to, yesterday, at the time of recording this, and the beginning of this video. So this is how it currently looks after all that work in progress. Like I said, I'm very satisfied. The apartment is at a good value. I'm at the top floor, so I don't have any neighbors above me or around me, actually. Because behind this wall is nothing. It goes to the outside. And behind this wall to the right, it goes into the storage. So yeah, sometimes I can hear people going into the storage and doing things, but it's not a problem at all. And then on the opposite side of this wall, we have the window, which also goes out into, nature. And then on this wall to the right, it's just, my hall, my kitchen, the bathroom. And so I can't hear anyone from that side. So I only have a neighbor underneath me. And I was thinking, well, that's really good. Well, what are the odds of that neighbor being annoying or loud? And unfortunately, that seems to be the case. That neighbor is pretty loud. It seems to be a family, like 2 grown-ups and 2 children. And so it is a bit noisy. Even late at night, it can be noisy, and that kind of sucks. But you just have to live with it. That's like the only negative I can think of. There's no elevator. And it's on the 4th floor, so I do have to take a lot of stairs every day. It's 64 steps one way. But yeah, that's like the only negative I can think of, really. Like I said, it's good value. It's an old apartment, old cables, grounded, ungrounded outlets. But it isn't a problem from what I can, see. Still need to get a nice bookshelf for this area right here. Get all these things up. I didn't bother filming the kitchen or the hall or the bathroom. There's really nothing interesting to see there. It's all practical. But this is, my new and current home. It feels a little bit unreal. Like I said before with that sunset picture, I do get the sense of melancholy, sense of overwhelmed, and reflect upon many different things that has been going on in life. It's crazy how fast time is moving and how many things are constantly changing. And like I said in the beginning of this video, it's also like an update video of what has been going on, and I haven't really touched upon that yet, have I? But there isn't too much that I want to share. Most of it is private. And I don't want to open up many wounds, but we can just go back a little bit here and let it continue playing while I do this update segment. But yeah, that concludes the room tour. I hope you enjoyed it. But yeah, let's go back to our work in progress while I do the update portion. So it's been a while since I did a dedicated video for this YouTube channel, so it has been falling behind a little bit as I was focusing on real life stuff, but also streaming. But trying to continue a little bit from that previous update vlog I did back in September. I mentioned a couple of things like my father's cancer, and there is a big silver lining to that. He has been stabilized a fair bit. He's going through different types of operations and going on different types of medication. Very heavy, complicated stuff that I don't even know how to begin to explain. But nonetheless, he has been stabilized a fair bit. The cancer isn't growing too fast currently. And he has he's been feeling, better and better. I mean, not to say that he's gonna, survive. I do hope so. I really, really do, of course. But like I said, it's very complicated, but it's not going in the wrong direction currently. So that feels great. I hope he can stay stable for as long as possible. The whole ideal, outcome would be that he could still die of old age instead of the cancer itself, and unfortunately, that still seems to be the case. So all we can do is hope. But yeah, it's been going in the right direction. And other than that, I was talking a little bit about moving to my girlfriend's place, which was like 5 hours away. Well, without going into too many details, we broke up in November last year, and then it's been a little bit messy. Like I said, I don't want to talk too much about it, but it's been a little bit messy overall. But in the here and now, as of recording this, there is nothing at all. So we just we broke up, and now I am going solo again. So yeah, trying to take it from here, focusing on settling in this apartment, doing my best with the work. It is still an internship currently, and if everything goes well, I will get like a seasonal employment starting in May, I believe, and then work for the rest of the season until early December. So that's like my main focus in life right now, is to deal with that. And so all things considered, I think there are many, many positives in life, but there's been a lot of hardships lately. There's been a lot of ups and downs, especially considering my father and my ex. So yeah, like I said, it's a bit overwhelming. I'm doing this whole video unscripted, so I do apologize if I'm repeating myself or stutter a little bit. But I just want to have this like basic heart-to-heart, just let out everything, what's been going on, how I'm feeling. And yeah, like I said, it's good overall. It's really good, but it's also overwhelming. So I'm gonna do my best now. Going forward, gonna try to stream consistently as a fun little hobby. Try to make more videos for this YouTube channel. I have so many ideas. I really, really do. Everything from highlight videos to reviews to maybe like a music project, like a little vocal cover I did back in December. I have a lot of ideas, but it's just with me. Sometimes I just feel like after a long day at work, or I just want to play a game. I just want to chill out and play a game. And streaming is a little bit easier in that sense. You just start streaming and you play and you talk and you have fun. It's more complicated than that, obviously. My stream setup is very intricate. It's very complex, very advanced. But, I like it. It's like an ongoing project that never ends. You can always improve your stream or change things with it. So it's really fun to mess around with and see how people react and what they think and how they utilize the different redeems and whatnot. But yes, I do want to try to make more scripted videos and reviews. There's a big project I've been working on like a year ago or two. Regarding Shantae and the Seven Sirens, which was a game I speedrun. And I was gonna do like a speedrun explained video, and I got the entire script written already. It's more or less finished, and I got all of the gameplay recorded and everything. All I needed to do was sit down and record voiceover, just like this, and then edit together the video. But I never did it. I never got to it. It's just been on the shelf for years now. So that's just one example of a project that has been lying dormant in regards to music, there's, you know, many projects there as well. I have this Tower of Calamity demo, concept demo, which you can find in my original music playlist. So there's a lot of potential, a lot of things to do, a lot of games to play, a lot of different videos to make. It's really fun, it's really exciting, but it's also overwhelming. So I'm trying to just take it one step at a time and try to do what I want to do. And instead of getting steered too much from what other people want me to do. Obviously, it's really flattering when people like your content and they're requesting something, and you want to be respectful of that. But at the same time, as a creator, you have to do what you want, especially when it's just a hobby. Like, I'm not doing this for a living. I'm doing this mostly for myself, to document my life in various ways. And that's why I should always do and do what I want, what genuinely interests me. But yeah, that does conclude everything I have to say, without going into, you know, too many personal details. But yeah, I want to thank you all very, very much for tuning in and listening. This video has probably been going on for much longer than I thought it was gonna. But it's been good. It's been good to finally sit down and just have a little chat, speak my mind, and then we can focus on making more videos. I have a highlight video coming up very soon, viewer clips 20, and lots of streams, like I said. So yeah, we'll do our best and we move on. And once again, I thank you all very, very much for watching. Thank you for joining me in this room tour. Take very good care of yourself, and I hope to see you in a future video or stream. Bye bye.